As we say good morning to each and every person here, we also say good morning to those on Zoom, and a special good morning to any visitors here with, and a special good morning to cute Jackie. Jackie, wave at everybody. Let them see how cute you are. Come on. Jackie, wave. That's my girl. That's my girl. She hasn't, yeah. Nice to see you. At least you know how to take care of yourself. Please, let's go to the word. And we're going to talk about a very touchy subject. And forgive me if I go off tangent and get emotional. It's the battles of the firstborn son. And the Holy Spirit says we still have to talk about the lastborn, who is the replacement of the firstborn, should the firstborn fail to carry out God's assignment. What is going on here? Simple and straightforward. Today we're going to talk about the father's heart. The father's heart. The father's heart. Malachi 4, verse 4 to 6. Remember the law of Moses my servant, which I commanded him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and strike each with a curse. I struggle many a times to understand what it is that social media and the secular world has done. Because what is going on right now, parenting has become a crime. Most parents are in pain because of what children are turning out to be. Now, here God in the 6 is very clear. He said, and he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the fathers. And the last sentence is a warning. Lest I come and strike the earth with a curse. Then I question what type of Christianity where our children think they know more than their parents. And yet the risk of the curse is when both turn away from the commandments. I don't know, but at the end of the day, we need to consecrate our hearts if we are to not receive the curse of God. And we find this in Exodus 13, and we take it up from verse 1, which says, Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, consecrate to me all the firstborn, whatever opens the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and beast, it is mine. Now, do you understand why today, why has the church not taught us to consecrate our children? And then we wonder why our children don't listen to us. We wonder why things are going wrong in family. Well, if you don't consecrate the firstborn, something is bound to go wrong. If you don't, including your dog, by the way, including your chicken, by the way, and everything that is the first, including your first job, your first salary, where do you take it from? Where do you take it to? So all of us need to pay attention and really re-examine our hearts. Re-examine our hearts. Because if we go further to Genesis 22:17, it buttresses the point Okay? That blessing I will bless you, and multiplying I'll multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven and as the sand which is on the seashore, and your descendants shall possess the gate of their enemies. The question I ask, who is possessing your gates? Your financial gates, who is possessing it? Your family gate, who is possessing it? Your academic gates, who is possessing? What about your professional gate? Who is possessing? And yet, we are following secular information which has led no one to anywhere. Yet, more than history can actually show us, everything was by genealogy. Skills were by genealogy. And we see today patterns, spiritual patterns come out clearly. Where, trust me, stealing is a spirit. It begins in a family and it's handed down to whatever. Prostitution is a spirit. Everything that you see. What we are seeing today, Pharaoh is having an easy game with your sons. Why? You've moved away from the instructions given. Because it says, and your descendants shall possess the gate of their enemies. What you do not control from the gates, it will control you. Alcohol is controlling us. Cocaine is controlling us. Marijuana is controlling us. Bad boys, the spirit of Absalom and Amnon is controlling us. The Jezebel spirit is controlling us. Why? We are not in control of the gates. We are living in a permissive society where everything is okay. You can choose to be a dude or a chick, making God an absolute idiot to have made a mistake of creating you what you are. Isaiah 28 verse 6. For a spirit of justice to him who sits in judgment, and for strength to those who turn back the battle at the gate. You see, if you are not in charge of any gates, the gates are in charge of you. Here it's saying, for a spirit of justice. Do we have it? When we've got such free society, we can do what we want, when we want, how we want, without control. What is going on here? We can't turn any battle around. There's so much free will, it has willed us into issues and problems of real identity. We've become pseudo-Christians, not real Christians, because we don't know what Christianity is all about. Where is the restraint? Where is the reverence? Yes, we've got people called titled reverend, but reverend comes from the word reverence, which is more than fear in a person. Let's go through several examples, in fact 5 examples, and remind me to add a 5th one. The heart of a father, which includes me. I want nothing but the best for every one of you. So I'll push you, yes. You can think I'm bullying you. Sometimes you need to be bullied. Hello? I love your silence. Sometimes you need to be bullied for you to realize. Sometimes you got to slap out some demons out of you. Because I ain't going to do any, come out, come out. How many are you? No. Let those who know how to do that do it. But the foolishness that's going on in the church right now is because discipline is out, discipleship is out, counsel is out, justice is out. Nobody is sitting by the gate. And yet, the word gate meant a courtroom. In other words, men sat at the gate, which means they were in judgment, they were in control. And the Bible in Proverbs 31 says, if a woman makes a man proud at the gate. My question is, how many men are proud? If you think I'm giving a go at anybody, that's your problem. You just go to the gym and see how many men walk in there with their fancy suits but torn socks, torn boxers. You'll be shocked what you see there. Which means they've got a foolish woman at home. And that number has increased. Number one example, God. Let's go to Timothy. 1 Timothy, verse 2:13. It says there, 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 13 reads, "For Adam was formed first, then Eve." I need to exercise. Sit here. Sit here. My hands need to exercise. Sit there. For Adam was formed first, then Eve. And then the secular world tells you we are equal. I can stand in front of you and tell you, all women who think we are equal are nuts. They should be institutionalized in a mental institute. Chanama may even be, no, we need a chikurubi, what is the Kabwe? Maximum prison. You know why? Never! God made you so special. Any man gets confused. So who is confused? You, who thinks you are equal to a man made out of soil, dirt, mud, and you think you are the same. A project God was experimenting. Listen here. Listen. It says, for Adam was formed first. Then God realized his mistake. It is not good. And foolish women, you think you are going to tame the it is not good. And perfect, it is not good. The Creator created you to come and finish off what he left out in the man. You are not made out of mud, so we can't be equal. When he realized he created what the scientists call a Neanderthal. Me, soup, that's all. Up to now, his descendants are still me, soup, that's all. They don't see beyond. They don't see anything else. Me, soup, that's all. Neanderthal thinking. And you come with a special assignment as special forces of God to come and complete his assignment on this creature called man. And you want to be equal. Foolishness. Adam was God's firstborn human. 1 Corinthians 15. Verse 45. And so it is written, the first man Adam became a living being. The last Adam became a life-giving spirit. Hello. So first Adam was as human as you and I. The second Adam is Jesus Christ, who came to give life. From a tree we were messed up. From a cross, which comes from a tree, we are redeemed. Which shows God will never bring any new terms in your life. Come on. Stop judging people. Today there is Nkole, Pastor Nkole. When I called her Pastor Nkole, people thought it was a joke. But let me tell you, her ministry has just blown. She's on Facebook and I don't know, face down, face up, I don't know what else. Everywhere she's been, even the vice president is calling her, and whoever state house she knows. Are you understanding what I'm saying? It took a title to give her the authority in the spirit to operate. What if I didn't listen? What if I didn't listen? Did you see me stretching her legs? Or did you see me hold Jackie and pull whatever? No. Your pulpit is that wheelchair. Look where it has taken you. You would never have gone there without that pulpit. So why do people think, listen, your disability is a mere ability without the dis? Now why is she feel? If you are a fatty boom boom, there is a reason why. Somewhere, a fatty boom boom is needed. Get happy. Walk around apologetically. Am I talking to somebody? If you are skinny, well, just make sure you ain't got them worms called anacondas. Hello? Everyone has an assignment. Hello. So what is it? Jesus came. And if you see, firstborn messes up, God creates. If you look at it, then if Jesus is the second Adam, that makes him a lastborn, doesn't it? To God. Are you understanding? So the firstborn fails. The foolish man even failed a geographical question. Where are you? I am naked. Up to now, us men, we are as confused as that. One question, you get a different answer. Ladies, come on, are you with me? Just asking, where are you? Jesus. He will tell you a story and a history and then the geography and trigonometry of the matter. And yes, all you want is what? Where are you? Adam. And they never take responsibility. The woman you gave me. It's always somebody to blame. You have twins, blessed. Hello? And you are crying. Hey. You're looking in the wrong direction, all of you. That's not where the twins are. Do you understand? Yesterday, a young lady came and said, I don't know what to do. My husband has never forgiven me. I said, why? She says, well, from the time I conceived this handsome, and the boy is handsome. She needed to eat michopo at 23 hours. Her hunger only came at 23 hours. Michopo and chibuku. So, man of God, being seen coming out of a pub with the michopo, and I didn't know, by the way, that it's put in an interestingly newspaper-looking container. And then he's holding one hand, shake, or is it chibuku? And then the congregants, congregants at, we saw, the pastor was coming out of a bar at midnight. And then not knowing she's sitting in the car. So the young man went as far as game store and bought a braai, those fancy braai stands, so that she can do michopo at home. And she just turned around and said, they don't taste the same. Let me tell you, I'm speaking to sons. When your wife conceives and it's a boy, you're in trouble. Boy begins to fight father. The battle begins in the stomach. Hello? The battle begins where? Now, you can relate. Imagine now, somebody is expecting, and it's a boy. And she turns around, I want coconut. So I'm like, coconut? Ain't no coconuts here, baby girl. She says, I don't care. Then I'm not going to eat anything. I want coconut. Now, I was under pressure. At that time, there was war in Mozambique. So I had to go to Beira, because that's the only place I could find coconuts. So I braved it. When I got to the Mozambique, Zimbabwean border, they looked at me and said, where are you going? Don't you know there's war there? I said, the war there, I can face. The war at home, I can't face. What do you mean by that? I said, I got a pregnant woman who wants coconuts, so I can face any. And we drove from there in a convoy. You know, guys, like, you know what I'm saying? Ready for, we go to Beira. I filled up the car, the back seat, the boot, the passenger side, so the car was sitting like this, full of coconuts. And I'm driving. I thought it was over. I get to the, Zimbabweans. I get to the Zimbabwean border. You know, they've got their special English. Now, what are these things that you bring here? We are going to charge you duty. I said, madam, make your duty times 2. What do you mean? I said, I've got a pregnant woman at home. You think I care how much duty? I'm in trouble whichever way, duty or not duty. So, charge me so that I can go home. They laughed and let me go free. I get home. I can tell you people, it was like watching a movie. She would sit by the veranda near where there's a concrete edge like this. Until she gave birth. Can you imagine that? You see, so you guys need to ask yourself, God, when he took a rib out of you, where did they go to come back together? And they were both silent, and they didn't say anything. What did they discuss? Have you ever wondered? There was no, God didn't say anything. Eve didn't say anything. If anything, it was Adam who said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Listen, don't try and figure out these guys. Only God knows the computer program he put in there. Am I talking to somebody? But I'm saying the heart of the first Adam messed up, and it has costed us, and it's still costing us. Amen, somebody. Genesis 2:19. 2:19 says, out of the ground. Say with me all together, 1, 2, 3. Out of the ground, the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every bird of the air, and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. And whatever Adam called them, each living creature, that was its name. Hey, wait a minute. That is called possessing the gates. He was in what? In control. Let me throw a curved ball. How many of you name children? How many of you women name children? So you are now Adam. You are now Adam, ka? Adam saw and named. That's the Bible. Adam saw and named. Yes, you can give me examples of Rachel and all these other guys and whatever. If you notice, any child, any woman in the Bible named was according to their suffering. Go throughout the Bible. Everyone who was named by a woman, it was because of the way what she went through. Okay. I can see revelation is far from you today. The mantle of continuity started with Adam. God created, Adam named. Continuity. What is your continuity strategy? I don't know. Genesis 4:1. In Genesis 4:1, we see another dichotomy. Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have acquired a man from the Lord. Do you see what I mean? Who named? Who named? And listen to this. If you also have a benefit situation according if you value pitamo, I have acquired. How do you name a child? I have acquired. Cain, Adam's firstborn. What's happening here? In Genesis 5:3, Cain's heart was messed up. 5:3. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. And Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness, after his image, and named him Seth. Hello? And Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his what? After his own what? And named him Seth. So, who are you as a son? If I may ask. The continuity matter we are talking about. Genesis 2:7. Adam's heart was messed up. Genesis 3:12. Adam begins the blame game. The woman you gave me. What did the woman do? What did the woman do? Those of you who've done organizational behavior, this is the beginning of the lesson of organizational behavior, because God asked, Adam, Adam, where are you? When you need to understand that God knew where Adam was. So what was the reason for questioning? It's acknowledgement, accountability, and responsibility. He was checking how responsible, whether he would ask. And people say, VM speaks in parables. I just check, and I can tell you, I've put my foot down. I refuse to entertain any mediocre language interpretation or contextualization. I refuse for you. So I'll give you an answer. Does a chicken have breasts? When you hear that, it means your comment is non-strategic. It has nothing to do with anything else. Now, when the blame game, which is still now, do you know that it's easier to say I'm sorry than to explain? I don't know, there's something, maybe it's me, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but the generation of today will give you an explanation to everything. To everything. Why haven't you washed plates? No, because and then you see, and then anyway, the plates are dirty. What are you explaining? When my cars are dirty. Hello? I've got sons. But you know what I've got to do? Just do it yourself. Shh. Do it. Because they've got an explanation. Then their toe is aching. Amen. I hope I'm talking to somebody. So, Psalm 46. You need to have a strategic stance. In Psalm 46, we see something that is interesting come out there. And we begin our story of a father's heart. Psalm 46, verse 10. Psalms 46, verse 10. It says there, be still. Hey. Be still and know that I'm God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Be still. And I can tell you, this is a problem for a lot of people. You can't afford to be still. If you're not seeing it, then it's not happening. Let me tell you a little secret that I found. When I see God being quiet, he is not quiet, he is busy. I don't know why people think God owes you an explanation for everything he does. He said, I'll show you the end from the beginning. But he doesn't tell you how you are going to walk there. I mean, I have a phenomenon which I've seen I've seen myself, and that is, it's exciting to conceive. I mean, the excitement of conceiving, never mind the neurology or urology or whatever happens. But let me tell you, God doesn't tell you that you are going to start having a funny walk, you are going to have funny taste, you're going to start spitting, and everything smells, and everything is not nice. Everything just changes. In other words, you go through a chemical reconfiguration, and your body goes through recalibration. You go through a level of deformity where you can't even touch your toes, and etc., etc. Then you have a Hannah walk. You know, a Hannah walk. It's where you're pushing a wheelbarrow, and everything. God doesn't tell you that. He doesn't even tell you about labor. And I've been in the labor ward. None of you here can tell me. Labor ward, there is temporal insanity. Ushirwa temporary. Hello? Sit. Mama. Hey. Hello? Go and play. Grandpa weeps, eh? Okay, sweetie. I'll bring you lollipop. All right. So you see somebody, I mean, like I've said before, I have heard more insults in the labor ward than in a bar. Let the kid come out. Oh my God, there's total transformation. Somebody was saying, I'll never do this again, but... And you're like, excuse me, Lord, but what is going on? It is called, that's why international law has it, that 3 months a pregnant woman is classified as temporarily insane. Counselor, am I wrong? Why are you shaking your head? Do you think they will see your head shaking? Thank you, Counselor. Okay? Temporal insanity. Bushirwa temporary. So now, in my mind, I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking. So, how do you know when they're normal? Anyway, let's go on. So, you need to have a strategic stance. Be still. This thing about being still is where Christians lose it, because we want tangibility, and yet we don't know that spirituality is intrinsic, spirituality is intangible, and only when it is built up that does it manifest into extrinsic and tangible. You know, intrinsic means internal. Now listen, God spends more time in internal. If you want to know something is wrong, go to the parable of the sheep, where the disciples were facing a storm and Jesus was sleeping. Let me tell you, your spirit is the Jesus. Find out something. You can be in trouble, but your spirit is calm. Just know that your Jesus is calm. He's going to sort it out. The body will fix it. You know, am I talking to somebody? The body is what? No, by way, everything is panic. Check with your heart. If it's calm, it is well with you. Am I talking to somebody? Be still. It's Genesis 1:27. And I'll show you God's continuity secret there. Genesis 1:27. What does it say? So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the living things that move on earth. Now here's a dichotomy. Please, I need us to, this is an academic question. A lot of people have failed to explain what did God mean by saying, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. People have thought this is the creation of a woman and a man. No. Sorry, can I? Yeah. I need a mad girl. Each one of us are created with an Adam and Eve, or Abraham and Sarah. Your brain is in two. Your brain is what? Male and female, he created them. So in you, there is a female side, and in you, there is a male side, which only comes to meet here. And then joins into your spinal cord. Scientific fact. This is why, if you find that a woman is left-handed, any lady left-handed here? Any guy left-handed here? Gee, you're a very nice crowd. In other words, if a man is left-handed, even their IQ is higher because they are using more of their female brain. Am I talking to somebody? If a woman is left-handed, they are actually termed non-neurotic in terms of romance. Why? They are using more their male brain. So you get to me. This is why you find here, okay, if somebody hits you here, you're gone. This is why as you go down, oh, sorry, Jesus. Now we're going to see napkins. If you go down at the base here, if you hit a girl here, the whole system jams and she goes on her period. Did you know that? Yes. Here. Why? Because of the control system of male and female. So in the village they know you don't hit a girl there. You mess her up. Why? The whole system sends a signal. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So that's what that means. But you get explanations of, no. That was before a woman was created. That was the time when Adam had 206 bones in him. Before the one was removed, because every male skeleton has got 205 bones instead of 206 bones. A woman has 206 bones, a man has 205 bones, one bone missing. Now, the idiocy of the matter is, you try every rib cage. Am I the one there? then you go next. Am I the one there? Listen, you came out of one rib cage. Be like my Pinky's mother there. They've been married ever since she was 18. Now they are hitting 40 years plus. Aye. She found her rib cage. Please wave. She found her rib cage. Let me tell you, when you do it right and you begin with God. Amen. I hope I've given a lesson. So, God's sixth secret of continuity. Why was man made last? Provision before vision. What am I talking about? The whole Genesis. He created everything before he created man. He created grass before man. Animal before man. Every creature before man. It's only when he was done. What a perfect God we were. He prepares. I shall go before you as a consuming fire. He prepares. He prepares. Now, in short, he provided before making man. Everything was there. And then man comes to be just in charge of things he never even saw. That's why he got confused. Probably Eve. It's the only thing that was created after him. The rest. And you guys want to compete. That's number one example. Number two example, Abraham and Isaac. Genesis 21. Genesis 21. The heart of a father. Genesis 21 verse 1 to 2. It says, and the Lord visited Sarah as he said, and the Lord did for Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bore Abram a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. Hey, 1, 2. In other words, how many of you would have the patience to wait as long as Abram? How many of you would have the patience? Let me tell you, you would run. How many of you, I mean, up to now, I see a lot of Sarah's children. You tell them they're going to have 2 children, they go into laughter. I love it. So did your ancestor Sarah laugh. And its laughter provokes heaven to deliver a child. Am I talking to somebody? Keep laughing at VM. Hey, I pronounce here. They shall be. I'm even looking at doing a budget for more swings and another tree house. Because you know what? Even those who had forgotten. Hello, I shake my hand. Those who think they are out of hello, it shall happen. But let me tell you what, every time I have heard laugh, somebody laugh, it happens. Why? I don't know. It's an old story. But how many of us are prepared to wait for that thing that we've always wanted? How many of us wait? Listen. What you may need is not the blessing that you think. What you may need is the key. And all Abraham needed was a key called Isaac. Who put Isaac on the altar? Who tied Isaac on the altar? If Abraham didn't have the faith, it wouldn't have happened. Now you have only one child, and then God says, sacrifice him to me. How many of you would do it? Wakakiro mwana, pankuni, and even lifted a knife. Am I talking to somebody? In other words, Abraham, in as far as I'm concerned, was the first classroom to teach us what God was going to do for us. So, the question is, Jehovah Jireh does not, I'm sorry, I've heard songs, I've heard people talk about Jehovah Jireh. May I destroy your thoughts? God does not come down in your life as Jehovah Jireh without you having a sacrifice. Full stop. No Isaac, no Jireh. In short, how many of you pray stupid prayers and you say God is not answering me? Well, how can he answer you with provision when there's no Isaac? What is your sacrifice? Oh, young ladies, those of you who are not married, I would disqualify some, but lift your hands. If you're a young lady and you're not married, there are certain iwe. I said I would disqualify some people. Iwe. How old are you? Achani? 20? I'm not talking to people like you. Yes. You were... Can I tell you something? Turn to your neighbor and say, I'm a fool. No, I'm not joking. Do it. Hello? Do it before I come down. You know why? You want marriage? Raise a sacrifice. There is no way God can provide a man. And please, like I've told you before, stop these stupid secular prayers. I want a God-fearing man. Well, Lucifer is scared of God. So what will Lucifer do? You manufacture his son. Send you one tall, dark, and handsome. chitali mikonzo. Out of one man, this is so amazing, out of Jacob, the 12 tribes came. You see, the heart of God was clarity. The heart of God, he was teaching a lesson. Now, let's go I'll show you. Number 3, King David and Solomon. This one I won't even go into, but you can read it. 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 2 to 4. That one I have mentioned, and for me what makes me interested in that is the comment David said, because he was dying and he spoke to Solomon, and in verse 2 he says, I go the way of the earth. Be strong, therefore, and prove yourself a man. What does that mean? Prove yourself a man is not to walk naked. Prove yourself as a man is not wearing a trousers. How do we have sons who don't even know how to be fathers? How do we have sons who are irresponsible and they are not responsible for anything? And yet, continuity entirely depends on the seed they carry. Idiots without vision. If our generation dies, come on, guys, how are you going to live? We had one young boot camper. He was very much interested in baking. The parents didn't know until after boot camp that he was actually taking chamba, crushing it with the dough, and what he was baking was full of drugs. So everybody in the house, and he was laughing at them, including mother and father, they were eating and they were getting, oh, it tastes nice. Are you understand what I'm saying? The chapel, so the mother even kept boasting, no, my son, he loves baking. Come on, guys, something is wrong here. And then some, we found them. ARVs, they go and queue up for ARVs. They take ARVs and crush them and lace the chamber. Yes, so I took the chamber to DEC. The DC people come, so we work together. I said, no, look, do a lab test. What do ARVs do when they are smoked together in a chamber? Jesus, we found that it increases the potency of each chamber by 410%. People are sick and people are smoking. You know. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Then garden compound, the sewage. There are youngsters that hang there. They take poo, put in a plastic, tie the plastic, when it's hot like this, leave it on the sun. And then when it ferments, they use a straw. From that day, let me tell you, I don't care what hotel I go to. I don't want to see a straw, because I saw the other use or abuse of a straw. So they do a straw in the plastic. And the problem with it is you can't trace in the blood. Those are the sons we have now. Sons who are not responsible. Sons who can't think. I'm sorry. Sons, the heart of a father, what pains me is you've got to think for the son and tell the son what to think. I think it's not fair. Having children is not a crime. But I don't know what we have in the place of son. Even zombies can listen. Have you ever wondered why? Okay. I rest my case, my Lord. Solomon understood the heart of his father. Can we do a bit of sketch here? There was Solomon, there was Absalom, and there was Amnon. Who was the firstborn? Huh? Solomon was not the firstborn. Solomon was the lastborn. Absalom. Now, I want you to understand something. God goes to pick the lastborn to build his sanctuary. Because the firstborn went into his own story. Do you understand what happens with the firstborn? Sorry, how many of you are firstborns here? Guys, I feel, because these are facts which we should be talking about in church. People are messed up. Attack firstborn, you kill the whole family. Simple. Make the firstborn fail and the rest is whatever. And I'll tell you, most firstborns are just clueless. It is because they are veiled. Can we talk about it? What's going on? It's an old system. It happened to Adam. That's why Jesus had to come. Do you understand now the heart of a father? Jesus had to come because Adam failed. What about you in your house? Have you redeemed yours? Or you're one of those who were told that New Testament is not good, throw it away. Lies. God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And the question is, what are you doing about it? What have you done about it? Or it's just stories? We are here in church making each other feel nice. I refuse to be part of that. So, Solomon became king. Absalom didn't. Amnon didn't. Ambition versus obedience is the issue that happened there. How do you rape your own sister? Number 4, Jesus and his father. One of my researchers found out that Jesus came 28 generations after Abraham to teach us a lesson. 28 generations later, the classroom was Abraham and Isaac. 28 generations later, Jesus comes. Now, let me surprise you. 28 is the number of God's month. Anything beyond 28 is not of God. So Pontiff Gregory is the one who changed the calendar so that we can all get messed up by using the wrong dates. Listen, a woman's cycle is 28 days. Do you know why? A woman is the earthly timekeeper on this earth, whereas the moon is the watch. So the two work together. The two work what? Together. Trust me, I can go deep, but it's not for today. Do you know that children born in the first week, by the way, even seasons are 4, huh? 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. Seasons are what? There's time for rain, there's time for spring, there's time for fruit, there's time for... Are you understanding? Do you see how they work together? Now let me tell you. Children born in the first 7 days tend to be very prophetic and good children. Now, if you have a troublesome child, check when they were born. Trust me, children born in the dark time of the moon. In criminology, criminal studies, they become the criminals. In witchcraft, they become the witches and wizards. In the house, they become the difficult child. Okay. Maybe I'm talking to myself. We are processing. Are you a meat factory? So you need to know, when was your child born? Remember the 4 phases of the moon. Check. Good children are born during the time of last period, first beginning. That's 7 days. That's a season. Which is connected to new moon. Imwe. Okay. Am I confusing somebody here? Because yeah. So be careful. Mule time ida. Oh. Yes, you can tithe. Oh. Right. Where was I? Oh, I almost went somewhere else. So let's go to John chapter 5, verse 16. But as you turn there, remember Isaac was the key to many nations. Adam disconnected us through a tree. Jesus connected us through the cross. So Jesus knew the heart of the Father. Let me tell you, this one, I don't even know how I can teach it. John, I said John chapter what? Verse 16. 5:16 says, for this season the Jews persecuted Jesus and sought to kill him because he had done these things on the Sabbath. But Jesus answered them, my Father has been working until now, and I have been working. Wait a minute, what does this mean? Listen, like I've always said, even in boot camp, all of you, sorry to the visitors, you've come to the wrong place. If you have anger issues with your father, you're a fool. In French, they would say, j'ai répété. If you have anger issues with your father, you are a fool. Because you and your father are one. And when your father was doing whatever he was doing, you were carried in his, you know what. These days there's grace. You know what, no mentioning. So when he was committing, you were in his body. You were in his loins. So you and your father committed the same sin. So if he's a fool, you're a fool times two. Guys, if you thought I was the only one who refuses to get old, look at my friend. See it there. On a haircut, so straight from Kwamongu. Wondered? Mazo? Hey. I hope you brought me those cashew nuts. Okay, so I need you to understand that one person who did some history called Helpen Amaru, he said something I found very interesting. He says, Rebecca provides the biblical portrait of a skeletal archetype for the facilitator role of all matriarchs. In other words, Rebecca, I believe, had a temper. Now, Rebecca was a control freak. That's why she managed to manage the situation of Jacob being blessed by. That's how she managed to cook the soup and set up the child and whatever. And if you saw the growing up of those two boys, it was very separate. Because Esau was bushman, Nabawish. Jacob grew up in the kitchen like some of us. He was mommy's boy. Now, do you see how mothers can impart knowledge, special knowledge for a child to become? Are you understanding what I'm saying? So most of you, where are you going? He's not crying. Look after your mother, you get wisdom. By the way, there's only one book in the Bible that's called She, and it's Proverbs. The rest of the books are called He. It's only Proverbs is called She, because it is said knowledge comes from mother. That's why Proverbs 31, it's mother talking to her son. My son Lumio. I wish such mothers would exist, because I would have no problem with you guys. Don't look for shape. I just want to know. Such mothers who tell their sons what kind of girl, who teach their sons. And let me tell you, this is the issue we have. Knowledge comes out of the book of Proverbs. But how many of us? Wondered. Do you know that very few people read first chapter of Chronicles to chapter 11? Why? They find genealogy boring. And yet, let me tell you, that's where a lot of the keys you will understand that there is no coincidence. Everything is well planned. And if you go into Luke 3:23, you'll find that the Joseph we thought he was just whatever, is in the genealogy of Jesus. Are you understanding what? And we thought it was just coincidence and whatever. And what a father he was. That man is an epitome of fatherhood. Walelo mono ushiriwobe. Amen. So when you look at the issue of Vabena, let's go to verse 16. Where did we end? We've read that, okay? And we need to go to, it goes on for a long way. In other words, persecuted but focused. He never allowed, in verse 16 to 17, he never allowed anyone to deviate from his father's activity. Let's go to 19. In 19, then Jesus answered and said to them, most assuredly I say to you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he sees the Father do. For whatever he does, the Son also does in like manner. For the Father loves the Son and shows him all things that he himself does, and he will show him greater works than these, that he may marvel. For as the Father raises the dead and gives life to them, even so the Son gives life to whom he will. Let me tell you, this gives you an idea that we have something, our society, our culture, our norms have been disturbed. This link has been de-linked. Sons are not spending time with their fathers. And sons are no longer interested in what their fathers do. The whole idea is to stop continuity. In other words, if you do genealogy, you find that even skills followed genealogy. This man is a lawyer. And who did he follow? His father. And one daughter followed. They have a legacy behind. And you find that which is in your genealogy, there is less effort.